Welcome to Hanging at the Hangar Bar. I'm Scott.
I'm Candice.
I'm Lariah.
And I'm Lacey. Grab a drink and come hang with us at the Hangar Bar.
Well, hey there and hello, friends. This is Candice coming to you with Hanging at the Hangar Bar. Thank you for joining us for this episode. And today we're going to do another episode in the Travel Tips with Candice series. Today, Scott and I are going to talk about the importance of a park bag, how to select that park bag, and what to pack in it for a successful day in a Disney park.
Yeah, and I'm excited about a couple things today. We are actually hanging out in a bar as we record. So Candice and I have a bar in our basement, and we just said, you know what, we're always hanging out at the Hangar Bar. Let's hang out in the Minx Bourbon Bar and just have a little fun with this conversation today. So the other thing that I'll just call out as we get started is that last week's episode, I said Candice was going to do a solo episode. We decided to make this one a team one, just to give you a couple different perspectives on park bags. So that's where we're at today.
Because while I am the map, I am not the end-all be-all.
Well, I think you're the end-all be-all.
Well, I appreciate it.
And we're also celebrating Candice's birthday. By the time you listen to this, we'll be a week past it. But happy birthday to Candice.
Thank you.
Yay, round of applause.
Yay.
Do you want to plug our socials for us before we get started?
Absolutely. In case you haven't been following along, which why not? If you haven't, go back and listen to all our episodes from season 1 moving forward. We do have Instagram and Facebook. We try and be very active on both of those. We're really good at responding to requests and questions and that sort of thing. So join us there. It's Hanging at the Hangar Bar. If you have episode ideas or questions or anything like that you want to share with us, or your opinions on our episodes and what we talk about, that kind of thing, please come and join us and hang out there too.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So let's talk park bags.
Okay, so one of my first pain points for a Disney trip is that you go into these massive theme parks with a plan for everyday sort of gallivanting, and you realize right at the point when you actually need something that you don't have it. So let's talk about the first actual park bag that we actually packed, and talk about the pain points around that bag.
Sure. And all I remember is our pink backpack. And I know that's not our first park bag.
No, our first park bag was actually the little drawstring cinch bag with Mickey on it that I thought, oh, this is going to be amazing because it has Mickey on it.
Oh, the ones with the little ropes that ended up cutting into my shoulders the whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there's your first tip or trick if you want to do it as you're thinking about planning your trip. If you're thinking about a park bag, they have all these cute bags out there that are super cute for lightweight and like short amounts of time. But if you put any weight in them all, they're sort of a rope drawstring around the shoulders, and it will definitely cut into your shoulders. So just keep in mind, straps are important.
And padded straps at that.
Yes, I would agree with that. That's why we moved to the pink backpack.
Right. And our pink backpack is very pink, but it's lovely, and it's got a lot of room. We pack a lot of stuff in that bag.
We do. It gets a little heavy, but that's why she takes me around the park, so I can be your pack mule.
I try him over and leave him over at Pinocchio Village House with the rest of the donkey boys, but it doesn't work because he's fun to hang around with.
Okay, so what would you suggest be a good park bag for folks?
I would say just any sort of backpack situation. I don't even know that an over-the-shoulder sort of bag situation is a good idea. Just because with backpacks, both straps can help kind of distribute the weight, and you don't have to worry about it sliding off your arm or anything like that.
What about fanny packs? Are you a fan of those? Besides the fashion aspect of
fashion
them?
Aspect, absolutely not. But I mean, if everything that I think should go in a park bag is not going to fit in a fanny pack, so no.
Okay. You just see a lot of those wandering around the parks.
You do, and there may be people that don't want to take the whole park bag experience, and they may have medication needs or something like that they have to have that kind of thing with them all the time. So, I mean, if that's what works for you, that's what works for you. But again, this is just my opinion.
Yeah. So other than the ones with the rope straps, is there anything that you would put on your definite no list in terms of a bag?
Something that doesn't close securely. So something like with just one snap or just a cinch line. I mean, again, if it's what you have and it's what you can afford and it's what you can take, you do you. But you want something secure so that it keeps your valuables protected, keeps your valuables with you from not being lifted. Because again, we're in a theme park. We're not in perfection land. People are jerks, and they will take things.
Yeah, I just read a story the other day about somebody that got thrown out of the parks and arrested because they were stealing things from the back of people's strollers. Just people suck sometimes, so you just got to protect yourself the best you can.
And again, that is not a true Disney fan, so they can see themselves out.
Oh, snap.
Hey, my opinion.
Okay, so now we've talked a little bit about type of bag. Before we move on from that, are there any particular brands? Like, what's the brand of our pink backpack? Is there anything you specifically like?
Our pink backpack is a Swiss Army brand backpack, and there's lots of different compartments and lots of different, like, little tiny pouches and big pouches, and there's pouches on either side for a water bottle. When we're not vacationing, I actually use it for my laptop for work. And I do take a water bottle with me, and it's perfect for that because it keeps it away from my electronics just in case it should happen to leak. So, yeah.
Is there anything that the pink backpack doesn't have that you wish it did?
From a park bag perspective, no.
The only thing I can think of that I know I've seen in bags before that I think would be a good addition to a Disney park bag is one of those that has like a lithium battery charger in it. So if you need a charge, you don't have to rely on either the lithium batteries or the chargers. What are those stupid chargers called?
The external chargers.
Yeah, but isn't there a specific brand you can get in the parks?
I don't know what the brand is, but we're going to talk about packing in a minute.
So yeah, that would be the only thing that I know they make backpacks that have those chargers built in that you can power multiple devices from. So that would be my only add to the bag that we have, is just so we didn't have to carry an external battery. Okay. So are we ready to move to the inside of a park bag?
I think so. The first thing I think I would mention is to make sure that there is enough padding for any electronics that you want to take with you. And while saying that, I'm not suggesting that you should take a laptop into the parks or a full-size iPad or even an iPad in general.
Don't be that person.
Yeah, don't be that person that you're shooting fireworks on an iPad. It's just a bad look, and it's very distracting for the people behind you. So don't do it, please.
I didn't go to vacation to watch the castle fireworks through somebody else's iPad.
Right.
And honestly, I didn't go on vacation to watch fireworks through any screen.
No, we usually snap a couple pictures during fireworks, and then that's it. And then we put our phones away and just enjoy being there. Because if you let yourself go and get immersed in the experience, it's amazing.
It is. Agreed.
Okay, so what we are going to pack inside the park bag. I've got a list of items here, and we'll go ahead and talk about each one if we need to. I mean, some are pretty duh. The first item would be a small first aid kit. And things like blisters happen. Things like trip and falls happen. And while the cast members are there to help you out, if it's just something that's minor, handle it on your own. Take some Band-Aids, take some first aid cream, take some alcohol wipes. What else is in that bag?
Luckily, I've never had to look in that bag, so I don't even know what you have packed in it.
Oh, like headache medication, your preferred headache medication, probably some antacids of some sort, just in case, because some of those Disney snacks bite back a little bit, especially if you eat them fast when you're on the way to your next attraction.
Very true.
The next thing that I put on the list is an umbrella or ponchos. And as cute as they are, both the Disney Parks umbrellas and ponchos are cheap and they will break on you.
And when she says cheap, she means they're cheaply made.
Yes, they're not inexpensive. They're like $12, if that even is the low ball, where you can buy a good collapsible umbrella and a heavy-duty poncho before you go for a lot less than that.
For sure. Yeah, we've been stuck where we've had to buy a couple of those ponchos and an umbrella before, and the umbrellas didn't even make it home before they broke. No. And I know Lacey really wanted to keep hers, and like the first time she used it in like a real Nebraska weather storm, it broke. And I think we paid like $23 for that umbrella, and the ponchos are like $12 or $15. They're ridiculously expensive. So take your own unless you really have to have one that says Walt Disney World or has Disney theme parks on it, which...
But don't count on it as a souvenir because it will not last.
Right. If you have to wear it, they're probably more than one wear, but not many more than one wear.
Mm-hmm. I actually saw something on social media somewhere over the weekend that there was somewhat of a downpour in Magic Kingdom, and people were actually walking around with the Disney parks shopping bags on their heads. I thought that was funny.
I guess that's cheaper than a poncho.
Mm-hmm.
Poor little piglet Stuffy that has to be out in the elements so you can put a bag over your head.
Yeah, but that's not safe either. You shouldn't be putting plastic bags over your head.
Just over your children's head. Remember that this is a no kids podcast. We're just joking.
Oh, dear. Okay, so the next thing is kind of a hack that we learned on our 2 trips ago now. If you go on Amazon, we'll go ahead and say it. Jeff Bezos, if you want to sponsor us, reach out, hit us up.
Put our logo on your spacecraft.
That's right. Let's not. Anyway, large insulated metal water bottles.
Life-changing.
Life-changing. Yes, there is free ice water at all the quick service locations. Don't be that person that refills any water bottles that you might take with you. Just get a cup that they offer with ice water. That will get you by. Do not buy bottled water in the parks because, again, it's $4 for a 20-ounce bottle of water. No. But we have 40-ounce hydrocell metal bottles. And we were lucky enough to be staying at Old Key West. So that's one of the Disney Vacation Club Villa resorts. So we had an ice maker, filled the bottle with ice and water, and we had ice in our water the entire day.
Yeah, it always amazed me when it's 95 degrees and 130% humidity in Florida. We would go to refill those water bottles and they'd still be full of ice. And I just packed them full of ice in the morning. So maybe 15, 20 ounces worth of water in the bottle to start. And I just figured we'd run out of ice eventually, and we never did. Those hydrocell bottles are phenomenal. And again, not sponsored, but we'd highly recommend.
And there are some places in the parks now that do have water bottle refill stations. And you can go ahead and do that if you need to. But, I mean, we were both sharing the 40 ounce and we probably weren't drinking enough, honestly. But
we filled that thing more than you think we did. I didn't pass a water fountain without putting more water in it.
I did not know that.
You just thought it was a magical bottle that never ran out of water?
The magic of Disney. Yeah, I didn't know that, but yeah. But I will say be prepared because Disney water does have a bit of a funky taste to it. But, I mean, it's better than dying of dehydration, so do what you need to do.
Yeah, agreed. What else goes into your park bag, Candice?
Well, since you said the external battery for your phone, now that my Disney experience and Genie seems to be the rule of the land.
She's giving me a dirty look. She does not like the reliance on phones.
No, I don't. But your battery's going to run down. Disney Wi-Fi is sketchy at best, and so you're going to go through a lot of power trying to find wait times and reservations and mobile ordering and all that other good stuff. So an external battery is a must. And again, you can buy them in the parks for $30 a pop and then exchange them. However, you can also buy them for a lot cheaper than that and charge them before you go and charge them every night when you're in your hotel room. and just have an external battery that you don't need to rely on Disney for.
Yeah, and those fuel cells, I don't know if they're $30 everywhere, but you can even buy those fuel cells, and I think that's the name brand of them. But you can buy those like in your town. Like we can buy those in Lincoln and take them and still swap them out for free in the parks. So that's the good thing about those fuel cells is that it doesn't cost you to, once you buy the battery, it doesn't cost you to get a new one. So you just put yours in and it'll spit another one that's fully charged back out to you. So they're kind of cool. I think they are pricey when you can buy them and just charge them yourself and probably get something with more power. But if push comes to shove, it's not an investment like you're just throwing $30 away because you'll be able to keep that and continually just swap them out over time.
Yeah, I would just rather spend my $30 on a really cool souvenir or snacks or something, or drink or something.
Drinks. We are sitting in a bar.
All right, the next thing I have on my list is very, very important for everyone, not just us pale ginger people. And when I say ginger people, I mean me. Scott is not a ginger by any stretch of the imagination. He's one of those obnoxious people that tan really well. I, however, do not because I am a ginger. Sunscreen. Very, very, very important, even on cloudy days. That UV rays are intense in Florida. I mean, they are everywhere, but Florida especially, and it'll sneak up on you before you know it, and you don't want to go through vacation in pain.
Yeah, agreed. Candice thinks about the sun and starts getting a sunburn. I'm actually watching her turn red now as we talk about sunburns, and she's not embarrassed. So, yeah, but sunscreen is important. Pick the right UV that's right for you. My guess is your sunscreen makeup that you put on your face helps, but probably not enough.
Agreed. And reapply it often.
Yes. Just like if you're swimming, because you're going to be sweating a lot. Even if you don't think you are, even if it's a cool day at Disney, you're going to be sweating a lot because you're moving a lot. 10 to 12,000 steps a day.
And the humidity is just ridiculous.
Yes. It will wash off of you.
Mm-hmm. Another thing is Ziploc bags for your electronics when you're going on rides where, quote unquote, you may get wet because you don't want to ruin however much cell phone with a splash of water that seeks through your backpack. It's time for Disney trivia with Scott.
With Scott. So one of the things that they do that's really cool at Splash Mountain is as you get on that ride, they will actually give you a Splash Mountain themed Ziploc baggie for your phone. So they're not very big, and I don't think I brought mine home. I don't even know that I took one because I didn't need it. I didn't have my phone with me, or my phone's watertight or something. For some reason, I didn't think I was going to need it. So I didn't end up getting one, but they're super cute bags. So if you did forget your Ziploc baggies for your park bag, you can get them from Splash Mountain. They will give each person one.
And one means one. They will not hand out 14 for a person. So you can sell it on eBay for $500.
Right. So if you want more than one, you have to wait in the queue more than once. Good luck for that 90-minute wait to get a second Ziploc bag. Is there a size of Ziploc baggie that you would recommend?
I mean, whatever's going to fit your electronics that you need. And I think a quart bag is fine for a standard iPhone. Or sandwich size even may work. Now, if you have a big, fancy DSLR, fancy camera, you're going to need something bigger than that. But take a bag that's too big and deal with the space issues versus not having a bag for your $1,000 camera.
Yeah.
Just don't take the chance.
Yeah, and they sell for DSLRs. They sell bags that you can put those in because you're not going to find a Ziploc that's big enough for one of those fancy cameras, I don't think. But they sell bags for those if you're taking one of those along. And just little side note, I have a good DSLR. I don't think I'd ever take it into the parks with me unless I wasn't planning on going on rides that day. If I was just going to take pictures, I would take it along, and I would take it in its own backpack. Just because otherwise it's like if you're going to be going on rides like roller coasters or things where you have to really don't have a ton of room, there's so many chances that's going to get broken. So I'd say
forgotten.
Yeah. Leave the DSLR at home unless your entire intent that day is to go take pictures at the parks, which if we lived closer, I would totally do that. Like just go say the only rides I'm going to get on are dark rides and like the People Mover. And and take pictures all day. But if I'm thinking about going on any of the thrill rides, I'm not taking my DSLR into the park.
And that brings up another really, really good point, and I think we may have mentioned this when we were talking about how to pick a park bag, is pick a bag that's going to be large enough for all the stuff that you're going to want to take with you. Don't plan on taking 3 and 4 bags of stuff with you into the parks. Number 1, you have to go through bag check at security. Number 2, the more bags you have, the more chance there are that you're going to leave one somewhere or it's going to get lifted. So just take what you can in one bag. With that, as well as your first aid, ladies, you'll want to take hygiene products if necessary. Another thing I had on the list was spare shoes and spare socks.
Yeah, Candice, you got saved by, well, it wasn't a pair of spare shoes that we took along, but you, on one of our trips, got saved for the cruise that we were taking after by a spare pair of shoes.
Mm-hmm. Sure did. My feet were really, really hurting. Oh, and another thing, when we're talking about shoes, they need to be good shoes, they need to be supportive shoes, and they need to be broken-in shoes. Do not plan on buying brand new shoes for your Disney World trip because you will die. Your feet will fall off at your ankles and you will die.
It's true. I've seen it happen.
No, but I had to actually go into one of the gift shops and buy a pair of Mickey Mouse flip-flops and finish wearing those in the parks for our trip because my feet were hurting that bad. And if you know flip-flops, you know that they are the most unsupportive shoes ever, but they got me through.
Yeah, I think the only reason they got you through is because they had Mickey Mouse on them.
The magic of Mickey is undeniable, sir.
Because, yeah, no support. They were just that one thin layer of foam. I would have called them pool shoes, and she wore them as park day shoes for our last day there because she couldn't get her regular shoes on.
Tis what it is. Can you think about anything else that needs to go in a park bag? Oh, sunglasses, glasses, cases to swap out if you need to.
Yeah, I'm a glasses wearer, so I like to have a case to put my glasses in on water rides and that kind of thing because I don't, or roller coasters even. I'll typically take my regular glasses off of my head if I'm going to be going on a bumpy ride just because I don't trust myself not to lose them in the moment. So yeah, glasses cases, sunglasses case. If you have cheap sunglasses, that's obviously not as important. But as a prescription sunglass wearer, I don't want to have my really expensive prescription sunglasses get all scratched up in the bottom of the bag. So cases are important.
Well, and that's kind of relative because if you pay $25 for a pair of Disney sunglasses because they're adorable and they have Mickey Mouse on the temples of them, you don't want to lose those either. So stick them in your bag while you're on a ride.
Yep. Yeah, so the only other thing that I can think about for the inside of a park bag is going to be some basic snacks. If you are one that doesn't want to pay $3 for 2 cuties in the park, but you want a bite of fruit, pack a couple of cuties into your park bag. Things that won't spoil, things that aren't going to be awful if they get warm. That kind of thing can definitely be something you'd put in your bag. Like if you are finding yourself standing in a 4-hour line for Rise of the Resistance and you need a snack, make sure you have a granola bar because you can't leave line. Even if you don't eat it, having it there would be better. It doesn't add a ton of weight, so it would be better to have something than nothing in some of those instances.
And again, depending on how you're traveling, if you're driving, this isn't so big of a concern, but with planes, you have to watch what you're packing and where. But most, if not all, of the resort rooms on Disney property do have at least a small mini fridge. And there are delivery services like Garden Grocer that you can order online before you get there. They'll have it waiting at bag check at your resort. There's typically a nominal fee for delivery, but you can also use Amazon and other services like that. So you can order some of those snacky things and have them waiting for you. And then just toss it in your bag when you need it.
Yep, for sure. But don't overpack or over-order because you're just going to have to bring all that stuff home with you.
Right. Or give it out. And then that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Some random stranger coming up and saying, here, have a snack.
Have a granola bar.
No.
And most of the resorts as well have like a small little grocery section. You'll pay a premium for the groceries there, but it's not ridiculously more expensive.
It's not $3 for 2 cuties.
No.
Which is what you will pay for them in the parks. Promise.
Right. Yes, it's buying food in the parks like that, like a bag of potato chips for $3 is not a full-size bag of potato chips. It's a snack size.
Of boring, regular Lay's potato chips. Don't do it. Please don't do it.
$2 or $3. It's ridiculous how much they charge for those. Yeah, I can't think of anything else for the bag. I know I mentioned, kind of going back a little bit, I mentioned a camera bag. Again, I have my DSLR and I have a backpack dedicated for that and the lenses for it and all the equipment. I don't know that I would take that whole bag. I'm going to take maybe the camera, the stock lens, and maybe one other lens, like either a wide angle or a telephoto. I'm not going to pack my whole equipment just because it's going to get heavy. And how often are you really going to, in the moment, want to change lenses and that kind of thing? So just plan ahead for the kind of pictures you're going to want to take if you're packing a camera bag, and just make sure you're keeping your weight down too, because strapping something onto your back and walking around with it all day, if you're not used to being a backpacker / hiker, that can wear on you over time.
And also, this is more for a social aspect. Don't be that person that's on a group vacation and stopping your travel party every 5 minutes because you need to switch lenses on a camera to take a picture of something. Don't be that person. Take it with your cell phone. Call it good.
Yeah, for the most part, cell phone cameras are so good now you can't really tell the difference unless you're a trained eye. But I will say my DSLR captures better pictures in the moment just because I'm thinking about them more than if I'm just snapping a picture with my phone. So I know my phone will do a lot if I sort of plan ahead the kind of pictures that I want with that as well. But yeah, as Candice said, if you're with a group of people, switching lenses takes time, framing shots takes time. Just make sure you're being good to your group. Plus,
you can always drop a lens and crack it on the ground, and they're not cheap. So just don't.
Yeah, just don't. Okay. Anything else that you want to talk about from a packing a park bag perspective? Okay. She's shaking her head no at me. So I think we can kind of end it there. Again, we like this travel tips with Candice, or is that what we're calling it? Travel tips with Candice?
That's what it started out as. It may evolve. We don't know.
This is just the second in the series, and I think just having a place for you to go back and listen to some of your tips and tricks for how to plan and how to take advantage of a Disney trip is going to be a fantastic series for our listeners. And we will end it there for today's episode. Thank you so much. And remember, have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
See you real soon.